Epilogue of Last of the Dragonlords. 2 months later, a young blue tit, its coat still growing into a more recognizable blue, yellow, and gray, hopped out of the hole in its tree and stopped just outside of its hole and flicked its head up, then left and right, following down, looking around for any signs of birds of prey or other creatures that like migrating birds for a good meal. Seeing and sensing none, it hopped to the first point of the branch and looked down. The ground was a long way down, giving the little bird second thoughts about going. "What's wrong?" The bird looked up in shock at the sweet angelic voice ringing in its ears, but then relaxed when it saw the kind yellow Pegasus that gave its parents this home, flying before it, smiling amiably. The bird tweeted to her, telling her how scary it was to fly away from this lovely place, and go on an adventure to uncharted places, and meet new friends and terrifying enemies. "Oh, sweetie, I know how you're feeling. I really do," Pegasus said, her smile giving way to a sympathetic frown. The frown quickly turned back into an encouraging smile. "But I know you'll be fine. Adventures are scary, yes, and possibly dangerous, but they are life-changing, mostly for the better. This adventure you'll take in particular will show you what you can do, who you are, and what you're made of. I should know." She finished the statement by running her hoof along a bright pink mark right along the side of her face. The bird stared at her for a long time, contemplating her words. Then it spread its wings. Hearing her speak, seeing that encouraging smile spread across her face, was all the bird needed. With a little tweet of goodbye, the bird jumped off its branch and plummeted. Before it made it to the end, it brought its head up, feeling its body away from the ground, used its wings to flap and push it forward. The bird couldn't believe it. It was flying. It had practiced before, granted, but that was just from one branch to the next. The flight would be different and it would be much longer. The bird was waiting for it, however. The blue tit looked back when it heard the Pegasus cry out in encouragement. It tweeted in thanks and said its goodbyes. With that, it turned its head around and concentrated on heading south. Fireside watched the bird go with a blissful smile. Presley gave it a wave goodbye as it left its home in the tree to head out on an adventure of its own. Once the bird was out of sight, she let out a heavy sigh of relief, happy that the bird had done it and was flying away to join all the other birds. She knew the blue tit's adventure would probably be not as dangerous as her own was, but would really be just as life-changing. She fluttered back to the ground, after making sure her wings were still okay, walked back to her small table outside her cottage, sat down by it, and sipped some more of the tea that was waiting for her. She sighed and had a look at the woods beyond her garden. The leaves of the evergreen forest were falling like snow, leaving the trees looking lifeless and boring. The animals of the dangerous forest had gone into seclusion, which was a great relief to Fluttershy. She closed her eyes and rested her head on the table, ears at their highest as the remaining birds sang their farewell songs before setting off. Nothing on her host at the moment, she began to pore over the hectic 2 months that followed since she and her friends returned to Ponyville after seeing the world once more, the recovery of her battle with Hindar, as well as consoling herself over the fact she was a Dragonlords. She smiled as she remembered helping Twilight with some studying on flora in the Whitetail Woods. Two of them had gone on a camping trip for a few days in the blissful forest to look for a rare plant. Although the first 2 days were unsuccessful, the pair didn't see the trip as pointless. They learned much more about one another, and shared some laughs as they camped out under the stars. On the third day, technically it was the third night, the pair did find the plants, shining in the moonlight. Before Twilight could record everything about them, height, size, width, color, number of bells, etc., the plants disappeared into darkness. The pair was shocked to watch them disappear like that, but decided to keep it their little secret. As well as helping the unicorn out with her studies, Fluttershy would help Twilight out on the books she had promised to write with her. On a rainy day with nothing for them to do, Fluttershy would go to the library with a giggling Twilight, and pair about write what they had learned about Unicorn, the Dragonlords, and arrange them into chapters starting with the beginnings. The pair did have a problem, however, one that Twilight nearly had a panic attack about. How were they going to finish it? "How about we not end it on the Dragonlord's extinction?" Fluttershy suggested. Twilight nodded thoughtfully. "We could do that, but then what if ponies discovered that the Dragonlords are not entirely extinct? And those Dragonlords that aren't actually dead sue us for saying that they are extinct in the first place. Then they could say we made some of it up, since we're having to make some of it up, and then he would have to sue us for getting it wrong, and then we'd be left broken and penniless, and then nobody would want to read anything that we ever made again! First, I could only slam her home onto her face and sigh. She quietly giggled to herself in remnants. Twilight may be smart, but sometimes she could be one of the silliest ponies alive. That was something she never wanted the unicorn to lose. She was glad that Twilight was still here to show her some of that intelligence and silliness. She threw through her nose, and her thoughts turned to Rainbow Dash. With the Pegasus, first I took flying lessons from her to improve her left wing muscles after they were damaged in her battle of Heimdall. Surprisingly, Rainbow remained patient and thoughtful throughout her training as Fluttershy was, at first, unable to go higher than 4 feet in the air. Since then, with Rainbow's instructions, as well as her unique ways to treat a damaged wing, she had greatly improved, and eventually was able to fly from her cottage to the end of town. Now, 2 months later, she was able to fly as if nothing had happened. However, when she tried to get to Cloudsdale, she fell just after she reached the halfway mark. Rainbow Dash, luckily, was on a hoof of a cloud. She placed it just below the Pegasus to catch her fall. Once Fluttershy was safe, she flew out to console the poor mare, but sadly she realized her failure. I don't think I'll ever get to Cloudsdale on my own now, she sniffled quietly, holding Rainbow close. Hey, I'm sure you will. Maybe not now, but possibly in the future, Rainbow replied comfortably. All you got to do is keep practicing. You'll eventually get there. I know you will. Fluttershy eventually let go of her and smiled. She was right, as she was usually about many things. It will undoubtedly take her ages to get there, but she will eventually make it, and would have her friends by her side all the time. Rarity was always a pleasure to be around, but lately that pleasure had only increased. The two friends, on occasion with Spike, when he was able to help them, would take walks outside of Ponyville and hunt for gems and other rare materials to use for Rarity's fashion line. First time couldn't go as quick as the unicorn. Her injuries played up at the most inappropriate times. Well, Rarity was always patient and helpful with her, always grateful for her help, even when Fluttershy only sat and only watched. As well as helping find gems, Fluttershy helped the unicorn out with making the dresses when Rarity was behind. The two would spend what time they could playing games, gossiping, randomly bursting into song, and having a good laugh. And sometimes the pair would silently hug and console one another for various numbers of reasons. Applejack. Fluttershy's smile grew wider at the thought of the time she shared with Applejack. She rarely had time for the farm pony, and it was the same vice versa. The two were always working and never had time to spend in each other's company, no matter how much they wanted it. But not long after they had returned from Horsegut, the Fluttershy offered to help her friend, despite the weak state she was in. Applejack eventually agreed after a ton of offers, but was glad in the end she did say yes. Fluttershy helped Applejack remove the apples from the trees, and in return, Applejack helped her with the clearing of rodents and other varmints, as Applejack called them, out of the farm. Sometimes, Fluttershy could stay at Sweet Apple Acres for the night, being too weak to make it back on her own and share a bed with the Earth Pony. The two would talk long into the night about anything, even the most upsetting stuff. They both had a cry about it for sure, but it felt good to be letting some out of the thoughts she had been bottling in. She could imagine the same went with Applejack. And finally, Pinkie Pie. She giggled to herself as she remembered the time she had with Pinkie Pie, when the Cakes went away for a week on holiday with the little ones. She was the only one who could help Pinkie with the responsibility of running the shop. She was glad she could. She always ended up messy after a delicious food fight, sang songs, laughed at each other's terrible jokes, simply enjoyed each other's company into the late evenings. It had been a difficult time, with her injuries playing up from time to time, but eventually most of the aches and pains had gone. She felt like she could live normally again. All but one of the scars on her cheeks disappeared, with a remaining scar running from her right eye down to the tip of her nose. The thing that reminded her most of her ordeal was the long pink scar that ran down from the end of her neck to the top of her rump. It became apparent after the first month since coming back her coat would never grow over it, and would remain there for the rest of her life. Still, it didn't matter now as much as it used to. She still had her friends, and her life in Ponyville had gone back to the way it was before. Most of it, anyway. Yet at night, she would sometimes wake up sweating heavily and short of breath, leaving her with little sleep most of the time, as she found her mind going back to when she lost her father, the way he was killed, as well as her battle of Heimdall. She told her friends about nightmares. They all assured and comforted her, telling her when they were all experiencing nightmares as well, finding themselves back in the darkness, facing the great burning dragon once more. Some apparently involved watching each other die horribly down in the darkness. Fully experienced nightmares couldn't do anything about it. But they stayed together, talked to about each other, and helped each other carry on with their lives. Like Fluttershy thought when they got back 2 months ago. Wasn't going to be easy, but through each other's support and friendship, they could do it. She was too busy wrapped in her thoughts she didn't notice or hear the sound of footsteps getting louder and louder, as well as a gentle humming. Before they reached the edge of her cottage, they stopped, and a face peered from the other side to reveal Twilight Sparkle. The unicorn smiled when she saw Fluttershy, with her head resting on a table, and began to quietly walk up to her, unicorn saddlebags rustling as they rubbed against her sides. Fluttershy? Twilight called quietly, watching the seemingly sleeping Pegasus. Fluttershy's eyes shot open, and after blinking repeatedly, she raised her head up, looking at Twilight with a grinning smile. The moment she did that, however, the aching feeling stretched across her scar and back made its presence known. Fluttershy grimaced and began to rub her back with a hoof. Are you okay, Fluttershy? Twilight asked, her tone laced with concern. Fluttershy nodded. I think so, thank you. It's just that sometimes an aching pain flares up my back. As soon as she stopped talking, the pain in her back faded away and she felt fine again. It's gone now, but it'll keep coming back when I least expect it. Twilight cocked her head a bit and smiled. I'm sure it'll heal in time. Hey, if you got enough of it, she said comfortably. Fluttershy smiled back, and eyes wide in shock. Oh goodness, where are my manners? Have a seat, if you want to, of course. She gestured with a waving hoof to sit at the table, and the other pointed at her teapot resting on the table. Tea? She asked the unicorn. It's your favorite. Twilight beamed and immediately removed her saddlebags. Oh, I would love some. Thank you. I'm parched after today, she answered, taking an idle cup and pouring out some tea from the pot. When she put it down, she lowered her rump onto the air cushion and sighed pleasurably at the peace. Fluttershy smiled at her and raised her cup to drink some of the warm tea, while Twilight's ears flickered at the sound of the birds singing their songs of departure. So, Fluttershy said, putting down her cup, don't mind me asking, how's the book coming along? Oh, it's coming along nicely, thank you. I would have shown you the cover in first chapter, but other things popped up I had to put aside, Twilight replied. I had several errands come up at once, and that messed up my schedule, so I had to waste another hour reworking the schedule just so I could add these errands and other things I wanted to. Fluttershy smiled and rolled her eyes. Typical Twilight, always the organized ones. Once I had rescheduled my schedule to suit these last-minute errands, however, another errand for me to deal with popped out of Spike's mouth. Since I was coming this way to Apple Acres, I thought I might drop it off to you first. Fluttershy flicked her eyes to Twilight in an instant, clearly expressing her interest. You mean something came from me? From the princess? Twilight nodded, and her magic looked to the letter, sealed in a ribbon and endorsed with a cutie mark of Princess Celestia on the front, out of her saddlebag, and lifted it over to Fluttershy. A small note for you saying it was for you to open. Fluttershy teethed in shock at a letter from the princess addressed to her. Such things she'd never expected before. Probably taken an interest in me since the events of Horska, she thought. But why now? It sounded like she took the letter out of Twilight's magical grip and ripped the seal off it before unfurling the letter and reading it through it quickly. It felt nice to get a letter from the princess, like receiving a letter from your favorite celebrity. But the contents of the letter were not surprising, but shocking. What does it say? Twilight asked, craning her neck out to see. Fluttershy looked back at Twilight, realized that she had been staring in stunned silence for a few moments. Princess Celestia wants to see me at Canterlot for a casual get-together, she answered, surprised evidence in her voice. Twilight's eyes widened. Does it say when? Fluttershy nodded, briefly looking through the letter again. Today, specifically this afternoon. She got off her cushion and went inside to see what time it was. Eyes widened when she saw it was just gone 12. Oh no! She squeaked. Must be a Canterlot by now. She ran back outside and gave a quick hug to Twilight. Sorry, Twilight. Rosie calls. I wish I could see a bit longer, though. She was cut off when Twilight placed a hoof in her mouth, smiling beneficently. It's okay, Fluttershy. Just do me a favor and tell the princess I said hi. Fluttershy nodded. Okay, see you when you get back. And as he galloped hard towards the train station, Twilight watched Fluttershy go with sad eyes as the Pegasus galloped down the road a sight limp in her stride. Ever since they returned home, the girls and her had decided to keep a close eye on Fluttershy, in case he needed help with anything. They kept their distance to be sure she wasn't treating the Dragonlord like a baby, but close enough to know that he could be on hoof to help her in case of an accident. Luckily, nothing severe had happened, but sometimes Fluttershy's hind legs would give away, and she would collapse on her rump, grinding her teeth together in pain. Fortunately, Twilight, or one of the others, were soon by her side, helping her up, the Pegasus muttering apologies and sniffing back tears of shame. Yet always, they would be there to wipe her eyes, smile comfortably, and help her get through the day, as any friend should. I just hope she heals soon, Twilight thought, watching as the yellow silhouette vanished into the distance. She'll be much happier when she does. But some injuries, such as watching your father die and learning as something you never wanted to be, take even longer to heal. Has he gone? A voice from above whispered. Twilight looked up and saw Rainbow Dash's face appear from one of the clouds driftlessly aimlessly above her. She's on her way to the station, she replied with a nod. Right, you go get Applejack and Rarity and Pinky here and start setting things up, while I go finish off my chores and get some things for tonight. Got it, Twilight! Rainbow said with a quick salute, kicked upwards, dissipating the clouds she was resting on. Raced off in the direction of Sweet Apple Acres. Twilight smiled and turned to Angel Bunny, who appeared from the house watchful gaze. Is everything ready, Angel? The rabbit nodded and gave a salute of his own. Good. Help the others when they get here. I'll be back as soon as I can. With that, she broke into a trot to Sweet Apple Acres. When she made it to the road, however, she squealed and jogged on the spot. Oh, she's gonna love this! It took half an hour for Fluttershy to get to the station, mostly due to the fact she galloped as well as she had used to. Darn this slip, she thought as she walked towards it to a walk a few meters from the station. Firstly, she felt an aching feeling in its way work towards her leg and down her back. She knew she could have flown all the way to the station, but was worried it would fall and her falling on the ground as well as herself. When she arrived at the front of the station, she walked up to the ticket counter, let out a breath and sleeping heavily. On an odd day, it was surprisingly warm. Hello? Could I have a return ticket to Canterlot, please? She rasped. The airplane behind the counter nodded and gave her 2 tickets. Fluttershy thanked her, gave her the bits, and walked to the gateway platform. To her surprise and glee, the platform was empty of other ponies, leaving a bed free for her to jump out and sit on. Once she was comfortable, she fanned herself with a wing to cool herself down, feeling a little dizzy from the rain and the heat. A few minutes later, her ears flicked at the sound of the whistle at its end. Fluttershy turned her left to watch as the first signs of the train appeared on the horizon. At least I didn't have to wait long, she whispered to herself. Just as the train glided slowly up to the platform, also a tiny squeak diminishing her brakes. Most of the few ponies that wanted to get off jumped out of the carriages that led to the station. Fluttershy hopped up onto the train. She got quickly down the carriage, saw it completely empty of other ponies. The Pegasus grinned. Perfect! She ran easily chose a seat on the right side of the carriage and stared at white-tailed woods in the far distance, as well as the silhouette of the first few mountains making up the unicorn range behind it. With a small smile. Then, with a long blow of its whistle, the train suddenly jarred forward and began to pick up the pace as it commenced its short journey to the capital city of Equestria. As the train started to climb up the mountain of Canterlot, she began to wonder deeply on what the princess wanted with her. Twice did she send a letter to the princess not long after they arrived, saying they were all right, what happened to them, and what happened to Fluttershy. If Celestia knew about the offense at Horska, then why did she want to see her? She shook her head. The ruler of Equestria was more of a mystery than a Rubik's Cube. It would be better for her mind and soul if she didn't think too hard about it, she realized. She lowered herself down in a chair and spread herself along it. She tucked her legs under her stomach and closed her eyes, suddenly pleased to have a moment of peace, lest somebody watching her over her concern. She had been blind to what was going on around her for the past 2 months. She had just been playing dumb. She knew her friends had been following her around as she worked on her chores, tended to her animal friends. Staying sure that she was fine and able to work on her own without them to support her. And it wasn't always just one of her friends. Sometimes she would spout out of the corner of her eye or hear all of them whispering to one another, as if she was being an owl studying for a book about nature. Yet, for some reason, she didn't feel annoyed by them watching over her. If anything, She felt flattered that they cared about her enough to make sure she was all right for 24/7. Made her feel happy, since she hadn't been in a long time. The endless whistle booming across the landscape forced Fluttershy to open her eyes, gasp in surprise. Oh my, that was fast, she thought, as the spiraling towers of Canterlot dominating the skyline met her gaze, as well as the marble brick station building slowly, getting closer and closer. As soon as her carriage beside the platform, the train screeched to a halt, sending a terrible ringing through Fluttershy's ears. Once she had recovered from the terrible sound, she got out of the chair and walked leisurely off the train. After thanking the ticket expressor and hoping over the ticket, she trotted through the train station and out into the main street. The streets were full of ponies in various dresses and suits, while a few walked around with their bird coats on. She broke into a cheerful, although slightly limp trot, making her way to the palace. Never once did she shy away from the few gazes coming her way, for nothing could break her good mood. After a while, she found herself at the front gate of the palace, where two unicorns armed with spears were standing guard. She puffed at her chest to keep her courage, and held her head high as she stole up to them. Good afternoon, she said with confidence, unseen outside her group of friends. I'm here to see Princess Celestia. My name is Fluttershy Firewing. The guard on the right used his patch to open the pouch of his armor, brow scroll. Once he had opened it, he scanned the names on the list, his eyes widening when he found her name on there. Ah, here you are, Miss Fluttershy. Princess is at court at the moment, so wait by the stairs as I'll come to you. Fluttershy bowed her head and said, Thank you. She walked through the gates, feeling proud of herself for being so courageous. Two guards never scared her anymore. After all, why shouldn't they? She had thought the greatest threat to the world came out victorious. She felt like she could take on anything. No! She screamed at herself and thought. She didn't want to go down the path of arrogance, the one the Dragonlords had all followed. It was a path that led them to their destruction and extinction. Except for her. She came out of her thoughts when she noticed she was standing just inside the palace entrance, with the stairs leading up to various rooms and chambers of the palace. Seeing the many servants and guards strolling around the palace, not wanting to be in her way, she walked up the stairs and sat on her haunches to the side of them, waiting patiently as she watched the ponies of the palace continue with their work. An hour later, she groaned with impatience. The servants and the guards had gone by, and there was still no sign of Celestia. Where's the princess? She yelled in thought. Did she forget about her meeting? Or did the guard get the time court ended wrong? She noticed a guard passing by, and sequentially called out to him. Excuse me, sir, but when this court finishes, I need to see the princess. The guard looked at the clock above the main gates. Serve ended half an hour ago, miss, he said before walking through the main doors outside. Fluttershy sighed, her soldiers slouching. Serve ended an hour ago, she moaned. What's taking so long? At a moment of thinks, she abruptly gasped, scaring the young servant behind her. Maybe she's waiting for me there! Without further thought, she galloped up the stairs towards the throne room.